Hey guys, OG Albino here, bringing you guys my UPBA Season 1 Week 11 match, I believe it against Mid Pokemaster and his Star City Archers. Very cool dude, be sure to go check him out in the description below, along with all the other coaches and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm a bit crunched for time. I'm recording this right before work, fourth wall break right there. But so I need to bust this out. So let's just jump right into team matchup really quick so you can know what 6 I have and what potential he could have brought. Our team, if you did forget, consists of the Aegislash, Mega Gallade, Suicune, Sylvia, Decidueye, Diggersby, Aerodactyl, Hydreigon, Garbodor, and Combuskin, with our Z users being Hydreigon and Aerodactyl, while our opponent's team consists of the Tapu Lele, Mega Charizard X, Mandibuzz, Shaman, Empoleon, Nidoking, Jolteon, Buzzwole, Rhyperior, and Levani, with the Z users being Buzzwole and Jolteon. So right off the bat, biggest threat to me is definitely going to be that Tapu Lele. I do have a very good check, which is our first one on the screen right here. In our Aegislash, we're rocking out with a very Spreadef set with the Kasib Berry, just in case he's like, Shadow Ball and predicts on the switch or something like that. King Shield, Iron Head, Secret Sword, and Toxic. And then our next mod is going to be our pseudo kind of Mega Charizard X check. It's just going to be our Suicune, rocking out with Surf, Roar, Toxic, Protect. I'm running Surf over Scald because I don't want to burn anything, and it gives me a little bit more damage on the Zard. I can't burn it, obviously, and I want to throw off Toxics on things. I want to roar things around. Very hard mod for him to deal with. His only great way of breaking it is going to be the Shaman. And then next up we have a pretty standard Swords Dance 3 attacks Mega Gallade. Hits his team incredibly hard. I don't even really need to Swords Dance to just kind of OHKO pretty much everything on his team. It really does just go in this matchup in general. And then for our next mon, I have a Focus Sash Aerodactyl. This is likely going to be my lead. I want to get up rocks if I possibly can and pressure his defoggers, being the Empoleon and the Mandibuzz. And I believe he has another one as well. Let's see. I mean, Mega Charizard X, I suppose. And yeah, that's about it. It is the Mandibuzz and the Empoleon. Sorry, I was looking at the roster on my phone. And I can pressure each one of those with, Edgequake. I can get up my rocks for free, and that's going to be very important for chipping the Zard down, especially pre-Mega. So I am most likely going to lead off with my Aerodactyl in this game. Then next up we have a Hydreigon right here, rocking out with Roost 3 attacks with the Dragonium Z. The Dragon Z, I have enough special attack investment to be able to knock out a max HP Mandibuzz after rocks, which is, I thought a good benchmark to hit. And then I wanted a little extra bulk just so I can switch into things like Empoleon, because actually nothing on my team really appreciates switching into that, because nothing really wants to be burned, nothing really wants to be toxic bite and stuff like that. So I figured Hydreigon would be my best bet with that. And then lastly, we have an Agility, 3 attacks, Power Herb, Diggersby. It really does run through his team. Just Frustration plus Earthquake just bodies my opponent. Besides the Buzzwole. Buzzwole can kind of sit in front of it, so we do have the Power Herb bounce. And even if he predicts it and goes out on our Power Herb turn, unless he's Rock and Protect, we should be fine against that thing. Doing a huge chunk with bounce. As long as we get a little bit of chip off, we should be able to bop that thing and do pretty well. But yeah, that's gonna be the 6 that we're bringing. You can see EVs and all that stuff. I didn't really go into it in depth, but they all have a reason and a purpose. And yeah, so let's go right into the matchup. You can see the 6 my opponent elected to bring: the Shaman, Buzzwole, Nidoking, Charizard X, Mandibuzz, and Empoleon. So no Tapu Lele, which is phenomenal. I definitely understand why he didn't bring it, because I have a whole Aegislash there. But I'm definitely relieved to not see it, because now I can use my Aegislash to kind of check that Buzzwole. As long as he's not a sub-Buzzwole, I can get Toxic off on it and then kind of whittle it down, put it in range of our other offense here, which is great because we don't break it phenomenally. We can potentially pop Dragon Z on it, and then Headbutt from Gallade. It's going to do a lot, but it's not going to OHKO. And yeah, and then our Diggersby and Aerodactyl. So we should be able to handle it okay, but we don't switch into it well. But yeah, like I said, I am just going to lead off right with my Aerodactyl. I figure it covers, him wanting to lead off with potential Mandibuzz or something like that, or lead off with an Empoleon, try and get up his rocks. I can throw off a turn 1 EQ, pop his potential Sugar Berry and stuff like that. I totally started the video way earlier than it was supposed to be. There we go. Cool. And yeah, so we're gonna just jump right in and see what our opponent elects to lead off with after I mute it. Man, I am not prepared today. But yeah, so he's going to elect to lead off with the Shaman. For me, that's fine because I kind of want to gauge damage on this thing, and I know I can live any one hit because I am Focus Sashed. And I can throw off an Aerial Ace, and if he's offensive, I 2-hit KO him pretty much 100% of the time unless I get like absolute min-rolled, and he has to have a considerable amount of bulk to always avoid it. So I'm going to throw off the Aerial Ace. We're going to see that definitely does more than 50% as he does throw off his Seed Flare. And it's going to do a big chunk. It's not going to bring us down to our Sash, which also shows that he is not a Life Orb set. And obviously by him not taking any more chip or anything like that. So I am just going to, this next turn, I believe, elect to get up my Stealth Rocks because I expect him to want to switch out and save this thing as he does go out into the Empoleon, which is, again, phenomenal for me. If we can cheat that Shaman low, that's great for, the rest of our build. And it's great for our Suicune because it's the only thing that really breaks Suicune on his team. So right here, I am going to pull the switch out into my Hydreigon as he does go into the Empoleon. He elects to throw off a Scald right here, and fearing him potentially being Shuka or something like that, I just want to switch out potentially to have my Aerodactyl to get up rocks again later, to pressure the Charizard, to pressure the Mandibuzz. So I'm going to throw off the Earth Power, see that he is not Shuka, and he is very Spadef, so we would have done a huge chunk with a Earthquake, but he would have obviously knocked us out. But he is going to go for the Stealth Rock right here, and, be able to get his own up. But we did end up getting the Spadef drop, which is phenomenal because he's potentially in range, depending on his spread, but I don't think so, but potentially in range. So I can kind of throw off a free Earth Power right here, as he does go into the Mandibuzz, and I really wanted to quick Z Draco on this turn, expecting that switch to happen. But we can do it just on this next turn right here anyways. The only thing is now it is a roll if he's max HP to knock him out with the Dragonium Z, but regardless we'll be able to keep him very, very low, which is, the overall point of this set and all that stuff. So I am going to just pop my Z Crystal right here, hopefully knocking out this Mandibuzz right here, even though he's not right at the 76% range where he should be after rocks because of the leftovers, stuff like that. So you're going to see the cool Dragonium Z animation go off, and you're going to see him live on like a sliver of HP, like literally the amount of HP that you would get from lefties. So fortunately we're going to miss out on that KO, and he's going to Whirlwind us out into our Aerodactyl, which is good and bad because we're going to take a little bit more rocks chip, but not the biggest deal in the world because we don't have defog on this team. We weren't ever getting those rocks away, so now I kind of get Aerodactyl for free and get a last hurrah and try and break through his team a little bit. I'm just going to go for the Aerial Ace. I don't expect him to switch out, and now speed everything bar Choice Scarfers on his team anyways. So we are able to knock out the Mandibuzz and pick up a little 5-6 lead right here. So he's going to go out into the Nidoking, and I'm obviously just going to stay in. There's no point of me trying to switch out and preserve this in case he's Scarf or something like that, because of the fact that rocks are up and I can't get rid of him. So I am going to get off an Earthquake. It's going to do a huge chunk to this thing. It is going to live, however, and throw off an Ice Beam and knock out my Aerodactyl. But Aero did its job this game. I can't complain too much. It got a kill. It got up rocks, and it weakened this Nidoking and the Shaman, actually, a bunch. So I am going to be able to go into my Mega Gallade and get off a free Mega Evolution and a free Ice Punch. He has absolutely nothing to switch into this on his team anymore. Buzzwolf's 2-hit KO'd. The Empoleon's 2-hit KO, the Charizard's 2-hit KO, the Shaman's 2-hit KO. Everything is just kind of bodied by this thing if we can position it correctly. So I'm going to just go for the safe Ice Punch in case he wanted to go Shaman, and in case I missed his Zen Headbutt. I didn't think he'd go hard Buzzwole. So I am going to be able to knock out the Nidoking, which is phenomenal. He's going to go into Buzzwole right here, and I know for a fact I cannot knock this thing out. So I'm going to pull the switch out into my Aegislash right here. Just because the likely bug move or something like that is probably going to come out, or even potentially get Toxic to make it to where I whittle myself down, stuff like that. But he is going to go for a Leech Life right here. It's going to pretty much bounce off and do absolutely nothing to us, which is, again, fine because, we don't really need health from this thing because it was here originally for the Tapu Lele, and I'm just going to throw off a Toxic this turn. Nothing really wants to switch in on me, as he is going to go for an Earthquake, just trying to chip me down, stuff like that. I wish I was an offensive Aegislash at this point, because if I was, I kind of won the game, but I figured having that Spadef set would be very, very important for the potential Tapu Lele bring. But right here, I am going to go for the Toxic. We are going to chip him down, and I am going to speed it up a little bit right here, because this is basically me just trying to get the most out of my Toxic turns right here, and you're going to see Lefty's animations and, Poison's animations, so we're going to speed it up a tiny bit. So yeah, this turn I am going to go for the King Shield, just because, more chip on his Buzzwole for me, and, it doesn't really there's no real downside to it. If he wants to bulk up, that's fine. I guess I can kind of go out into my Suicune. I just want to put this thing into range of my Suicune after poison and stuff like that, and not have to take any extra unnecessary chip. Right here, he's going to go for the Leech Life. I guess over predicting, thinking I might want to save this Aegislash, but it doesn't really serve a purpose at this point anymore, besides checking the Shaman, I guess. But I feel like I can pressure that thing offensively enough to where it's never going to be an issue. We know it's not Scarf, so it's not too scary for us at this point. As right here, I am going to go for a King Shield, as my opponent does make a great play, and he ends up going for the Roost, getting back up some more health, expecting that, you know, King Shield, and obviously Iron Head isn't doing that much anyways. If we had, like, Shadow Ball or something like that, we'd probably beat this thing 1v1. But I wanted to be a physical set with the coverage we had, just because I felt like it hit his team overall a little bit better. As he is going to go for the Earthquake finally right here, and he is going to knock out our Aegislash, but that's completely fine. He's going to be very weakened at this point. I could have gone into my Mega Gallade right here and potentially risked a Zen Headbutt, but I didn't want to risk the miss, or I didn't want to risk him being like max Fizz Def and then living after the +1 boost, so I'm just going to go into my Suicune. I do have Protect on this set, so I can Protect to guarantee put him in range of Surf at the next turn. As he is going to go for the Leech Life, not get anything back, and provided that I'm faster in this thing, which you're going to see right here because of the leftovers, that I definitely am, he is going to take a lot more Poison Chip, and he's definitely going to be in range of this next Surf. I suppose he can preserve this thing, but there's not much of a point. It doesn't really do much in this game anymore, so I've decided, you know, not to overplay or anything like that. I am just going to go for the Surf, knock out the Buzzwole, which is great. That was probably one of the biggest threats left to my team at this point, as he is going to go into the Shaman. Now this turn, I believe I just go for a Toxic, expecting him to want to Synthesis up or something like that. I know I could take a Seed Flare or anything like that. I'm going to go for the Toxic, and get that poison off on the Shaman, which is again phenomenal. I will definitely take that 100% of the time, you know, and just get shit down on this thing. I just kind of want to get in my Mega Gallade and potentially win the game, as he is going to go into his Charizard, take a bunch of chip right here, as I believe I go for the Protect, just trying to get a little bit more toxic damage on that thing. This is fine though, because this thing can never really beat me if it's not prior boosted before it comes in, unless I play very, very badly around it. So he is going to go for a Dragon Dance right here. I believe I just go straight for a Surf to get a little bit of chip off in case he wanted to try and sub on my Toxic or something like that. You're going to see it's going to do a lot right here, as he is going to go for the Thunder Punch. I know I can live this 100% of the time. His heart is really strong though, because I'm super Fizz Def on this Suicune. I'm going to go for the Roar. It's going to be in range of a Rocks when it comes back in, as long as his employee does not have Defog, which I don't expect it to at this point. He's going to go for the Toxic, which is again fine. I believe I just kind of spam Surf until I die, as it's not let back in the chart. Oh no, I spam Roar. Why would I spam Surf? Yeah, we're going to keep spamming Roar. We're going to draw in the Charizard, get the Rocks kill on that, which is again phenomenal. And leaves just 2 mons left that are hopefully our Mega Gallade can finish off. I'm just going to keep clicking Roar until, you know, he eventually does end up taking me out. So we are just going to spam that right here, as he does go for the Seed Flare. He is going to be able to take out my Suicune, but again, not big deal. I'm fine with sacrificing differential at this point. We're out of playoffs. I just kind of want to pick up as many wins as we can and make the season not look as bad as it really was. So I am just going to go for the Ice Punch on the Shaman right here. He is going to live, but I know I can live any one hit from this thing, and it's not one of his Z users, so I don't have to worry about Z Fairy or Z Grass or anything like that. I go for another Ice Punch and knock him out. The close combat should have knocked him out as well. It actually did more, but I didn't want to risk it not, and him being way more Fizz Def than I thought, and then me taking the Spadef drop and then, you know, end up going down to that Seed Flare, that Dazzling Gleam. So he is going to go out and do his Employment here at the end. He shows to be Chople, but Mega Gallade is too strong and knocks it out for 50% through the Chople Berry. We are going to be able to pick up a 3-0 win against Mid and his Star City Archers. I believe the team name is. So GG's to him. Definitely a fun game, very fast-paced and offensive game, despite me bringing, you know, like Suicune and AG with Toxic Protect and stuff like that. I think it did end up working out pretty well. Arrow put on a lot of early offensive pressure on his team, and then Mega Gallade could kind of come in and just clean up, which was great. We'll definitely take as many wins in this season as we can at this point. But yeah, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you are new here, be sure to subscribe so you catch all our league games as they go up each week. And I'm gonna get out of here later.